Today, we'll see how we can automate mouse actions or mouse events in Playwright. So there are special methods are provided by Playwright. So we'll try to use them to perform the mouse actions. So normally, what are the different type of mouse actions we do in the normal way? So like we can say normal click, double click, right click, drag and drop, right? So these are the common options, operations we do using mouse keys, right? So we can also automate them in Playwright. So we'll see what are the different methods are provided by Playwright. Even Selenium is also supported mouse actions. There we can do using actions class and they're provided different methods. Similarly, Playwright is also provided certain number of methods. And by using those methods, we can still automate mouse actions. Okay, today we will see how we can automate different type of mouse actions. Okay. So for that, I just open my PyChamp and go and create new directory. Today, day 29th, and creating new Python file. I'll name it as a test underscore mouse actions. Okay, so inside this, first of all, we'll start with so normal click we can do using click method itself. So for the normal click, we don't need to go with mouse action. Especially for double click and right click, we need to automate this specially. So the first method I'm going to write def test underscore. And even mouse over also we do sometimes, right? Whenever you put mouse cursor on the particular element, there's a mouse over action. Okay, so let me show you that first. Let's go to this page. And whenever you place your mouse on this particular element, there are certain functionality will be enabled. Well, look at this. There is a mouse over and there is a button called point me. So when you place my cursor or mouse over on this element, you can see there are two options are there. So to get these options, mobile or laptops, first of all, we need to mouse over on this particular element. This is called mouse over action. So let's see how we can do. And also we can do right click action, double click action, and drag and drop. We'll see one by one. First, let us start with mouse over action. Test underscore mouse underscore hover and page fixture. And first, let go to page A, page dot go to, and launch this URL. And then, so first of all, on whichever element we want to mouse over, we need to grab that element. So if I inspect this element and there is a button class and there is a text called point me and this is a class actually, right? So can use this class to locate this element. And when I use class, we should use dot class. Now it is pointing to the element. Now get that element page dot locator. This is actual a button, right? So on this element, we want to mouse over. So this is the first button. So what I can do is I can grab this element. So not only this, what I'm going to do is just go back here. And after mouse over here, you can see two options here, mobiles and laptops. And after that, I want to mouse over on this laptops. I want to mouse over on this laptop. So then I can perform the click action on this. Okay, but there is no functionality for click here. But actually, we can do multiple mouse over actions. First, we can mouse over on this point me button, then mouse over on this laptops. So let us capture the point me. This is the element, and I call it as a point me button. And first of all, we need to mouse over on this element. So take this element, dot hover. This is the direct method available. So this will mouse over on this element. And after that, after mouse over on this element, it will populate few more options, right? Mobile and laptops. So now I want to grab uh, one of these option. So to grab this one of the options, so what we can do, let us inspect this element first of all, and you can see this. Inside the div tag, there is a mobiles and app. There are two elements are there. So for these two elements, this is the parent element class drop down hyphen content. So let us use this dot. Now one element is matching. This is actually parent element. Now from that parent element, I want to capture the child elements. So if I just specify only anchor tag A, it is pointing two elements. It is pointing two elements. Now I want to capture the first element or second element. How we can capture them? So one way is we can use this in the locator directly and use nth option is there, right? So one way is like this. Let me show you this. So first of all, page dot locator and write this locator. This is the one. This is giving the two elements for us. So two elements and specify this. This is the CSS and dot. You can say nth of index will start from 0. So I say 1. So this will return the first element and sorry 0 return the first element. When I say 1, return the second element. So the first element is mobile, second element is laptop. So this is the one approach we have. So we can still use this approach. Another approach is even in the CSS also we can pass the index because these are the two childs of the parent element. So to grab the child elements from the parent, we simply say tag name here. It is returning two child elements. But which child element you want? Second child element I want. So you can add index like this, colon, nth hyphen child, nth hyphen child of 2 or nth hyphen child of 1 means the first element will be matching, second element will be matching like this. So I'm getting second element. So I just said 2. Here 1 and 2 we should use in nth child method in CSS. So this is another way. In CSS we can use. So let's use this time like this. So in this case you don't need to use nth again. Okay. So these are the two approaches which we have. So this will actually returns what? The second element. After pointing me this option, the laptops will be returned. That's one element. I can call it as a laptops. This is an element locator. Now again, I want to mouse over on this. Take this laptops dot hover. And after that, I'll try to wait for some time. Page dot wait for timeout 5 seconds. Okay, so mouse actions is just for navigation. Okay, so we know we don't put assertions on them. So through mouse actions, what we will do, we will just navigate. Like right click is one action, double click is one action. So that we cannot validate, right? When you right click, you will see some options. When you double click, you can see some reflection on this. Once you double click, some data will be provided, or when you double click, some action will be performed. That action you can asset, but the action like double click, right click, drag and drop, these you cannot expect. We cannot put assertions on the events, but after completion of event, we can put some assertion. Okay. So this is mouse over action. So let us run it. See, right click, and here I'm passing headed mode, apply. Okay. Yes. Point me. Okay. So now I can see it is mouse over on point me. Then after that mouse over on laptops. So as of now, there is no functionality associated with this laptop link. So it is just mouse over on the element. So this is a direct method available, guys. So where this method is available, once we get a locator, on top of locator, this hover method is available. This hover method is available on top of locator, not from the page. Okay. Now, so similarly, let us see one more. Right click. So this is mouse over. I skip this for now. I say PyTest dot mark dot skip. Now let us go to the next one. So in this, I'm going to show you how we can perform the right click action. Test mouse right click. Okay, now this time I'm going to show you another page and go to this page. So here the right click functionality associated with this element, right click me. So if you do normal click, nothing has happened. But when you do right click here, you will see a few more options here. Okay, you can see few more options. So here again, once you right click, means event is not completed, then you can select one of the option. You can just click on edit, cut, copy, paste. So here it will show some pop-up, or this is a dialog, you can close it. And further activities you can continue as usual. But to get these options, we need to perform the right click on this button. So to perform the right click, we have a direct method available. Let me show you that. Go back and try to modify this code. Same code. So instead of this page, I'm just launching another page. Remove this part. Now, so on whichever element we want to do right click, you can just inspect this element. So when you try to inspect on right click, because this button is associated with the right click functionality, you cannot right click and inspect. So if you want to see this element in the DOM, you can just press F12 function key from your keyboard. So the DOM will automatically opens. Now take this pie or inspector and then show this element. Now you can see this element. So this is actual element. We want to grab it. And span is a tag is there and class is also available. So by using these two, we can get the CSS. Go to selector. It is already given here. This is our CSS for that element. So let me take this. And also, if you look at this context hyphen menu hyphen one, so after that there is a space actually. So this part is optional. We don't need to specify that. So even just a proceed specify till here, that still works. One element is matching. So use this element, use this locator and grab that element. Page dot locator and grab this element first, and then we will perform the right click also. So this is the button element. On this, we need to perform the right click action. So to perform the right click action, we use a normal click only. But here, if you look at the options in the click method, here there is an option called right left. The same method we are going to use for right and left and every. We can see this left, middle, and right. So there is a button option is there. So this actual parameter. So button. If you look at the button here, left, middle, right. So three options are available here. And some mouse are having middle button also, right? So if you want to click at, you can use left, right, and middle. So by default, right is there. So when I use just click method, by default, right click will, left will be there. But if you want to perform the right click, then you have to provide that option. Let's say button equal to, so by default is a left. We don't need to provide that, but we need to right click. So we just provide this option, right click. So on whichever button we want to perform right click, pass this button dot click and specify this option button equal to right. This will perform the right click action. That's it. Let me run this again. Yes, now you can see as soon as you open the page, it will right click on that button and after 5 minutes it will be closing. So after that, if you want to continue further, you can again perform normal click on this one of the element and then you will see some alert box or dialog and you can close this. Nothing will happen. Okay. This is simple way we can do right click action. So normal click only, but if I don't provide any parameter, it will perform the left click. And that's a default. But if I want to pass a right here, then it will perform the right click action. Okay. So this will performs right click action. So what are the options we can provide? Right, left, or middle. So most of the times we never use middle, and right left is a default. So if you want to do right click, just use only right option here. Okay, this is mouse right click. Now let us see another one, double click. How we can perform the double click action. So let us copy the first one. I'm creating another test method. Test mouse double click. Again, I'm going to same page. So I'll show you the functionality, double click functionality. And here, and if you scroll down, so here there is a double click. There are two input boxes are there. There are two input boxes. In the first input box, there is a default text. So by default, some text is there, hello world. So when you double click on this button, copy text. If I do normal click, nothing is happened. But when you do double click, the same text, whatever we provided in the first input box, there is a default text, is copied into second box. And this we can validate. The same text is got copied in the second field or not, we need to validate. Just a double click and same text is copied. So this event will be done only by doing double click action on this button. Okay. Right. So let's see how we can automate. So on whichever button you want to perform double click, you need to get this element. So inspect this element. First of all, remove this part. Right click, inspect, and this is the button element. And what are the attributes are there? So this is not constant attribute. We go back and see CSS. This is the attribute which is given. Button is the tag name. On DBL click. This is the attribute, and when you this is some function is associated with this attribute. Okay, now this is pointing to this particular element. Get this page dot locator. This is a button on which we need to perform the double click. So I call it as a button copy. Now we want to perform the double click action in this element. So to perform the double click, simply use one method dot DBL clicker. Okay, DBL clicker. This will perform the double click action. Performs double click action. Double click mouse action. Okay. So after double clicking, what will happen here? The same text will be copied into the second element, second input box. So that we need to validate. So how to validate? We need to grab the second box element first of all. So this is a field 2 we need to capture first. And this is the ID which is available for the field 2, which is input box 2. From that, we need to grab the text. So after double clicking, I'm just grabbing the text and I'll verify something. So page dot locator and store that field in a variable. I call it as a field 2. And now I want to verify the text in this field 2. Can we verify the text value? We can verify, right? Because this is the locator only. So from the field 2 is a locator. Field 2 dot to have a value. To have value. So what is the value we're expecting here is this is the one. And specify that value. That's it. So simple validation. So after double click action is successfully done, we can verify this. This is how we can do simple mouse double click action. Let me run it again. Okay, now it is successfully done double click action and same text is got copied into the second box and now my assertion is got passed. So this is simple DBL click. And if it's the right click, then we can use directly click method and just pass parameter button equal to right. But here we need to use DBL click. Okay. So next to final one, drag and drop. Sometimes we can do drag and drop. So let's see how we can do the drag and drop. Okay, now I copied the same text here. So test mouse, drag and drop. This is also very easy. So when you do drag and drop, we need to get the source element and target element. So which element from where to where we need to drag and drop. And there are two approaches are there to perform the drag and drop. So I'll show you both the approaches. You can use any of one of them. And we have already used hover method, mouse over method, right? That is one approach. By using hover method, we can do. And there is another method, drag to, which is direct method, which we can use. Okay, so let's see how we can do drag and drop. So here there is a two boxes. This is a source and this is a target. So we can simply do like this. So to perform drag and drop, we need to know the source element and then target element. Then we can simply do the drag and drop. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. Drag and drop. I launch the page and then what is the source element? This is the one. Inspect this particular box. And if I look at here, there is ID available, draggable. Let me use that ID and grab the source element. I call it as a source. page dot locator, and this is the ID, so we should use hash. So this is our source element. Similarly, we need to also capture the target element, and second box is a target element. Take this second box, ID is droppable, and page dot locator drag, okay, droppable. This is a target element. So now once you gap source element and target element, we can easily drag and drop. And first approach, so most of the times this is not preferable because we need to write multiple statements. So this we can do, which we can call it as a manual drag using hover method. Okay, so let me show you this. So normally, if you want to do drag and drop, how we will do it? First, we will mouse over on the source element. Okay, that's the first action, mouse over. And after that, what you will do? You will click on the mouse button. And after that, what you will do? Again, you will mouse over on the second box. And then what you will do? You will release the mouse or you will up your mouse. Then drag and drop is over. So 4 steps here. Let me tell you once again. So first step, we need to mouse over on the first box. We need to mouse over on the first box. Second step, we need to click on the mouse. That means we need to make it down. And now third option is what? Third action is we need to mouse over on the second box. And after that, four option is release the mouse or up the mouse. So 4 action we need to do sequentially one after another. So we already have source and target element, right? So where we need to do mouse over first source element. So source dot hover. So this will mouse over. After that, what you will do? You need to, after as soon as you mouse over on the source element, you need to just click on the mouse, or we need to make mouse down like this. And then again mouse over and then mouse up. So we need to do mouse down. How to do mouse down? Using one method available called page dot mouse dot down. So page dot mouse dot down. So this will make our mouse down. After that, again we need to, okay, so here we just mouse over on the box. Step number 1, we just mouse over on the box. Step number 1, and step number 2 is what? We need to down the mouse. That is also done. Now the third step is what? We need to hover on the target element. Then how to hover on the target element? We already captured the target element. So target dot again hover. And after that, we need to make our mouse up. So to make mouse up, we can say page dot mouse dot up. That's it. So these are the only 4 steps. So these 4 steps will perform the drag and drop, but this is not recommended because we have to use multiple methods. With single step also we can do. Okay, so let me run this first of all and show you. This is drag and drop. Okay, now you can look at this, both the boxes. Okay, now it is just sometimes the event you won't able to see it on the page, but sometimes you can see this. We will see the another approach. This is not recommended most of the times. Let me comment this. Now there is a direct approach through which we can do it. Approach 2. So we have a method called drag underscore 2. Using this method, we can directly do that. If we just know the source element and target element, that's it. The source element dot the drag 2. This is a method. Inside this, we need to specify the target element. So this source element we are dragging to target element. So this particular step will perform the drag and drop. So straightforward. Let me run it again once again. So this is a simple method we mostly prefer. Okay, now It is doing it, but you are not able to see the event properly on the web page. You guys can try this because sometimes your mouse is not holding. Okay, so just try this once again. I'm running one more time. Drag and drop. That's it. Let me run it once again. It is done actually. So you can see when I move my cursor, mouse cursor, it is holding that object. So this is the UI issue actually. But if you try in any other website, it will work perfectly fine. I'm just terminated my process, so it is failed. So either you can go with this one or this one, but second one is most preferable approach. Okay, source dot drag to. This is the drag and drop. So these are the major of most of the times we do these operations. Mouse over, right click, double click, and then drag and drop. Okay. So in the coming sessions, I will also discuss a few more important things like how to handle slider and all. But for now, these are the only actions. Similarly, we also have a keyboard actions. We can do keyboard actions. And even upcoming sessions, I will discuss them. Okay. So these are all about mouse specific actions. Okay. So I'll stop the session for today's class and here, and we will continue in the next class. And based upon this drag and drop, I will give you one assignment. You guys can try this. Go to this page. Yeah. So can just try. Go to this page, and here there is a assignment on drag and drop. So in this page, you can see some amounts and also some detail: bank, sales, owner's equity and loan. So you need to drag and drop here. For example, let's say bank is there. So you need to drag like this, and amount should be like this. And let's say sales here and some amount like this. But which option we need to drag and where, right? I have provided one document here. So by default, you will see this page like this. And after drag and drop, it should be like this. After dragging all the amounts in proper table, proper columns, finally you will see the table like this. So bank should be here, sales should be here. Once you drag and drop properly, then you will see like this, and perfect message you can see. So multiple drag and drops you have to do in this application. I will provide the solution also, and you need to validate this perfect option. So once the drag and drop is completed, you need to complete this. You need to validate this perfect. So this is the drag and drop assignment. You guys can try on mouse actions. Okay. Right. So this is all about Dragon. And the coming sessions, I will discuss about keyboard actions and other options, and we will slowly understand that. Okay.